us back again with part 2 of the GM Roulette we're doing tonight, Weird West. It's been pretty fun so far, but I will let Dean give a quick recap of what happened in part 1.
Well, part one began with us being introduced to our intrepid adventurers. We have none other than David Fingers Taft. We have Braxton Briggs and Willie. And basically, in this opening sequence, we had our introductions to everybody. We found out that the Masterson Railways were being plagued by gremlins, these mechanical insect and crab-like creatures. We also found out that Mr. Fingers had some mysterious beneficiary who basically told him he needed to open a briefcase on the train. And we met Miss Tilly, who seems to be some sort of, I don't know, double agent or something, but she's got ulterior motives, and she basically dazzled Mr. Fingers and took his case. And Braxton and Willie heard somebody was planning on bashing Mr. Fingers in the head and taking the case. So
Does anybody do we know she took the case?
You guys don't know, but
yet.
the rest of the world does. I'm just bringing that up, but Braxton and Willie don't know yet. You just stepped into the train car, seeing Mr. Taft coming back to himself. He looked like he was slightly dazed there for a minute, and you guys are headed back to the storage car because that's where the transmission had to come from that you overheard about them getting ready to do something to him. And we're going to pick up now with our third GM, none other than our friend Joshua Wallace. And we're going to basically have some more fun. Let's get to it.
Alrighty, so Dean, Mr. Fingers, you have been dazed, and you're blinking. You're kind of coming out of it, and you look down, and the briefcase is gone, and the scotch is gone, and you're not sure which upsets you more.
And I pat my breast pocket. Is the key there?
The key is still.
Okay. And I look over. You two, where'd that harlot go?
What harlot? What you mean? We just saw you sitting here.
That blonde harlot with her red lips and her interrupted, and she drank my scotch.
Brax, you see something? I ain't see nothing.
Sir, I have no clue what you're talking about. We just walked in here, saw you sitting there. We figured you was taking a nap. We didn't want to interrupt you.
You see, he was openly livid there for a minute. Now he just calmed back down, back to his normal, even keel self. Apologies, gentlemen. Where is Tilly?
Do we know a Tiddly?
Actually, both of you do. You've seen around town this woman that came into Spiderweb Gulch about 2 weeks ago. She got a job at the tavern and has been working there ever since.
I would say then Miss Tilly, she's here?
You mean that pretty little thing that works in the saloon?
Yes.
She on the train?
Yes. And she's a thief. And she drank my scotch.
Sir, I wasn't gonna mention this, but we heard over the intercom somebody was planning to rob you, and we were on the way to intercept them criminals. Now you saying it's Miss Tilly the criminal? Well, that kind of changes things. You know where she went?
I'll tell you what. You help me make sure I get to where I'm supposed to be and get me my case back before we get halfway to where we're going. And there's a whole $2 in it each.
$2? You hear that, Rex?
That's a whole lot of moolah.
He reaches in his pocket. There's one now,
Take it.
and you get the other one upon completion.
They're real crisp, guys.
Take the bill. You do that thing where you snap the bill like, whoa,
Yeah.
oh boy, I ain't never seen one this new before. How you get this, mister? I put it in my pocket.
I said, just point us to the bad guys and we'll take care of it. Or point us to this Tilly. She always seemed like a pretty straight up stand up gal, so I'm a little surprised you're accusing her of thieving and all. But if she done did it, she gonna get caught.
Now, you did notice as you came in the galley cart that the door to the back, you were going through the galley to get to the storage. The door to the back of the galley had just closed, and you thought you caught a glimpse of blonde hair.
Hmm.
Well, that must have been what we did just now seen. I thought it was just my eyes playing tricks on me, but that door was open just now when we walked in here.
Is there the intercom? Remember we said there was an intercom here, right?
The intercom is
Yes,
in the back. It's in the engine room.
Dean, you have GM.
Oh,
Yes, there is an intercom in here. There's an intercom in the engine room, and there's an intercom in storage.
So I go to the intercom and I go, Tilly, we're looking for you, Tilly. Where are you, Tilly? Over the intercom.
Probably not surprisingly, there's no answer.
You really think she was gonna answer you, Bragg? She done stole that briefcase. Why would she answer you?
It was worth a try.
We just gonna have to hunt her down. Go down to the next train car. Alright,
Maybe
start
we should
walking to the
split
door.
up.
Split up? No way, Jose. You don't know what they have. There might be more gremlins on board. That's why we was here to begin with. I don't want to get caught alone with no gremlin.
Hey, didn't we hear some other fellas in here playing a rob?
I also don't want to be caught alone with them either.
Cut more ground that way.
I don't know.
well, gentlemen, I have the ultimate confidence in what your capabilities are. You gentlemen just, you make me feel much better. I saw the way you handled those, what did you call them, gremlins, and the way you saved me. And basically what he's doing, he's starting his encouragement, his oration in order to keep his fellows up to the task. And I think, the best thing to do is for you two to lead the way, and let's go back there and let's find my case. And let's stop these nefarious people who want to do evil things, who have done evil things. And you know why? Because you two are upstanding, courageous. You are everything the Americas is all supposed to be about. And it's my honor to be associated with you. And as a matter of fact, just to make everything all right, you know what? Here, another $1 for both of you. And when this job is over, you both get another $1. You get another $2.
Oh, thank you kindly, sir.
Golly, this
And
thing.
I appreciate the kind words. Don't know what nefarious means, but I respect it nonetheless.
I think he means it's smelly. I think they might be smelly.
All right, so which
And he just keeps on orating, talking about how great you guys are. And so the next task that you guys do related to any of your skills will be ease.
So we're assuming that Josh, we're assuming that she went in the same direction we came from, correct?
No, the direction you're going.
Oh, the direction we're going?
Yeah, she went in the direction you're going.
All right,
She went towards the back, towards the storage car.
So I go. So it's best maybe you stay between us because we are very capable men, like you said, and let's get moving.
As soon as you say let's get moving, Willie would definitely take the front charge. He opens the door, And he said, get behind me, mister. I say to Taft, Mr. Taft. Oh, by the way, my name's Willie. I reach out my hand to shake your hand.
I pull out my whip, and I'll be in the back.
And we proceed to the next train car.
All right, the next train car is actually a cab car. So the hallway kind of goes off to the right, and you see a couple of doorways, 3 of them to be exact, down the car itself. They're all closed, and each of them has kind of a window in it. But on the other side of the window, there's a curtain, and the curtains are all drawn as well.
This is mighty weird. There's not supposed to be no one else up in here, huh? I go to try to open the first door we come across. Just try to open it.
It opens just fine. You look in, and there's kind of a bench seating there, and a small table, and what looks like a fold down bed that's latched up to where it's vertical on the wall, so that you know put it down, put it up, so there's more room in the car.
Ain't nothing in here. I peek my head back out, keep walking. I do the same thing unless they're gonna say something or do something. I open the second door too. I'm gonna open each of these doors just to see make sure she's not in there.
I mean, I would just be encouraging you to do so.
Yeah, I open the second door. What do I see in the next door?
You open the second door, and it looks identical.
Third door, same thing. Open it.
The third door does not open. It feels like it's locked.
I shake the handle or I try to turn the knob, whatever. It's like, Rex, this one here is locked. Ain't somebody supposed to be in here.
I go. You want me to open it?
Yeah, if you can. I get out of the way of the door.
All right, I got some tech skills here. I start shaking it. I go, oh dang, this thing ain't opening. And then I pull out my shotgun and shoot the door knob. I got some tech skills.
Okay, I'm gonna introduce a GM intrusion for you if you want it.
Sure.
Who are you gonna give the other one to?
I'll give it David Fingers for putting 2 crisp $1 bills in my pocket.
Very nice, very nice. Pay you for that XP.
Yeah.
So you blow a hole in this door, right? And behind it, you see something kind of skitter out of the way.
Skitter out of the way?
Yeah, it almost sounds mechanical.
Hold up. I think we got ourselves another gremlin. I start looking all around to see if I see a general direction in which it went.
It looks like it's kind of now behind the wall next to the door.
I blast the shotgun in the general direction in which I think it went.
Oh, jeez. Okay. You blow a hole. I mean, these walls are not like sturdy or anything.
Yeah.
You blow a hole through the wall, and on the other side of this wall looks like what's left now of one of those automated the train waiters.
Dang.
Brex, they're gonna charge us for this.
Oh, I ain't see nothing.
What the?
My
Brex,
fellas, you ain't see nothing.
you can't be black. Who else has a shotgun like that?
Let's just keep on moving.
My $2 is already slipping out my fingers.
I'm going to walk up and peek around into the room and see if there's a light switch or something, you know.
Excuse me, sir. Ain't nothing to see here. Nothing at all.
And I'm just going to take a look in the room.
There's a light switch.
Switch.
So about half this thing's torso's been blown away. And it looks like the head, there's some wires hanging out where the neck is, like it was broken, or like somebody disabled it somehow or whatever and locked it in here.
So in other words, it wasn't. I look over. I go. I don't think your shotgun blast did this. This looks like somebody's handiwork.
That's what I said. We ain't do nothing. I'm pretty sure it was me.
Willie just looks
Anything.
stressed
So
out.
there's nothing else in the room but this broken uh, waiter.
Yes, that's the only thing in the room.
You know what? I'm gonna see if it works. I'm gonna attempt to use my shock ability and run some current through it and see if we can get this thing to come to life for a few minutes to see if it says anything or gives us any information. Should I make a roll for it?
Yeah, go ahead.
I could assist them on this because I actually I have abilities in automaton machines, identifying machines, so I could tell him exactly where to shock if he wants to give him an asset.
All right, so this is going to be a difficulty 4, hindered because you blew a hole in this thing, and eased because of your skills.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
But he got.
Well, with his help, I've got a difficulty 5. But if you hindered it, then that means no.
No, if you've got a difficulty 5, you're fine. So it's eased and hindered.
Okay.
And it's a 4. So you spend a little bit working with it, but you manage to get the thing to actuate, and in kind of a stuttering voice, it says malfunction.
I go to try to if it says malfunction out loud, I'm trained in electrical repair. Would it be possible to like fiddle with its like control panel to try to like maybe stabilize its vocals or maybe get it to be able to tell us something?
How fast do you want to do this?
How fast? As fast as I can.
Yeah, okay. So then give me another difficulty 4.
Alright. I'm gonna use effort on this one. I rolled off natural 4. I'm gonna use XP to re-roll that. Because I have 2. Now I have the 1. I got a natural 16 this time, so 19 with the effort. So yeah, definitely beats that out. Or, you know, it lowers the task. Whatever, either way, I'm successful. So yeah, you see Willie goes behind the robot after it's like malfunction. He cracks open the panel, works real quick to try to maybe stabilize the vocal mechanisms or something like that so it can actually speak or whatever.
Josh, you're muted.
You managed to do that. It looks hot wired, but it works. Input?
I look over to Mr. Taft or to Fingers.
I'm gonna use Mr. Taft's sudden memory card. You remember something useful. You read, heard once. The difficulty of any lore knowledge test is decreased by a step. So, is there anything, any lore or anything about these things that I know that knowledge that I would have in order to make it work better?
Not necessarily to make it work better, but you do realize that they do record things in memory, so you might be able to access that and say, what did you see the last hour, the last 2 hours, the last whatever.
Yeah. Okay, we'll do that. We'll try to access his memory, and I want to know what happened in the last 3 hours.
So in the last hour, actually, the robot was cleaning the cab rooms because it expected are Mr. Taft to be in one of them, sleeping or whatever at some point, and it was jumped by two men who disabled a portion of it. It noticed that one of them had a crowbar and another one had what looked like a stick that had lightning coming from it.
Okay. I relay that information, or unless it related itself.
I go to see if it recorded the shotgun blasting its chest.
Yes, it did, in fact.
I drop the shotgun and kick it under the bed.
The shotgun is now under the bed.
Real quick, you said one of the men had like a electric stick. What did the other guy have, or what was the other?
Crowbar.
It looked like a crowbar, yeah.
Thank you. I say, Brax, you don't need to get that. I can handle this. I get the shotgun, I hand it back to you. I go back to the panels and I try to delete the last like 15 minutes of recording, so he can keep his shotgun safely.
Yeah, you can do that.
So I go and I do that. I go. I mean, I don't know if you want me to roll for, I'll roll for it, but I go and I delete like the last 15.
You can do that.
It's pretty easy. It's just literally scrub the last 15 minutes, delete button. It's gone. I was in Brax. We good. We're good.
Since it's diesel punk, I would imagine it wouldn't be like a delete button. It would be more like a strip, like like the braille strips. You have to physically cut it.
Literally
so like
clip
a cassette
off.
tape,
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Perfect. I go and I pull off like 20 inches of braille strip. I snip it and I tear it up and throw it on the floor. Like, nothing to worry about. But yeah. So the question is, where did they go? Where's Miss Tilly? I get up after I tear it up. I look to my companions like, well, we all got our answers about this poor fella, but what about Miss Tilly?
What about that curtain? Didn't you say there was a curtain?
Yeah, on the door. It's just a window on the door, at about shoulder height, to where someone inside could look out. But there's a privacy curtain because it's a sleeper car.
Is there a window?
Yeah, you can look out the window.
Yeah, I open the window, stick my head out, and look out if I can.
It looks very much like Middle America countryside. There's grain everywhere. You're whipping by. I mean, you're going faster than you've ever seen a train go, but it's going through Nebraska or Kansas, wherever the heck you are.
Is there an opening in between the carts that I will be able to see, or would that not be like part of my field of vision?
Not really. I mean, you can tell where one would be, but you can't actually look into it from outside the window.
I reckon we gotta keep on moving forward.
Just gotta find Tilly and them bandits.
All right, so you have one door at the very end of the cart, and or of the car, I should say.
Yeah, so we start at the same. I say get back behind me, Mr. Taft, and I start heading towards the continuation down towards the storage cart, and I open that door.
So you open the door, and the cart itself is fairly dark. There are from the light from the cart that you're in, you can look in and you see about 10 foot or whatever. There's some crates there, and they're all labeled Masterson Railways. So it's not like you're just transferring or transporting the gremlins there. There's something else being shipped as well. But it appears innocent enough. As you look deeper into the cart, it's dark though.
I look for a light switch. See if there's
You find one and you flick it on, but nothing happens.
Oh boy, look over to my group. Guys, that light switch ain't working.
Dang, all these crates. I sure hope they ain't got somebody else sending gremlins over trying to take my business.
Can we say, or excuse me, can I use my last remaining XP, or it'd be up to you, I guess, to say that I have a flashlight on me? Like, I work for a living, I would have, tools of my trade, kind of, so, like, I would have maybe a flashlight on my
Yeah,
waist
you
or
don't need
something.
to use an XP for that. Go ahead.
Yeah, so I take out my flashlight and I, like, shine it in there, or I have it ready so we can see better as I proceed into the car.
There's crates stacked, but there's also crates that are kind of in the middle of the aisle, so you have to kind of wander around them.
I said, guys, be on alert, and I want to shine my light and look around for like the communications access or port or something to see, like, because this is potentially where we're thinking the criminal message came from. So I want to see if there's any indication of where that might be or anything like that. So I'm like just looking around.
Okay, you don't see it immediately, and go ahead and make a some kind of visual perception check for me.
Alrighty. I'll just roll that out because I don't have any skills.
As you're waving your flashlight around,
I
looking
rolled
at stuff.
a natural 7.
Okay. So you're wandering back and moving around these crates and kind of poking around with your flashlight and looking, and you feel your arm knocked down hard.
Like something hit me?
Like something hits your arm. And the flashlight clatters out of your hand.
What the?
It's still on. It's still, it didn't break or anything like that, but it kind of skitters away on the floor.
5-minute warning.
You all right?
Roll initiative.
Alright, and 5-minute warning.
Okay.
We all roll initiative, right?
Yep.
Yes, all of you roll initiative.
I rolled a 15.
I rolled a 9.
And Dean got a 10. So 15.
Yeah, but I'm trained in initiative, so it's like a 13.
13. Yep, okay. So what's going on here, Mr. GM? Watch out, guys! I just got hit! I shout as I get hit and the flashlight gets knocked out of my hand.
What's going on, Josh?
You muted again, Josh.
As you were walking, your arm appeared to get hit by a crowbar.
Oh! My arm! Did I take any damage or anything from that, or?
Fortunately, it hits you in that spot where the metal glove...
It's me on my glove. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. Right,
so he didn't have enough room to get a full swing to actually damage you, but the loud clang and it shoved it down and made you drop the flashlight.
Watch out, guys! Alright, so who's going in what order here then?
You are up, then Dean, then them, then Anthony.
So I go first, or
Not me.
No, Al goes first.
So, I definitely look in the direction at which I got swung at with the crowbar, and if I see someone, I definitely want to try to just punch him, because that's my thing. No need for weapons. But yeah, I look and see if I see the gentleman with the crowbar, I say, "What you doing here?" And I go to like throw a right hand jab at him or something.
So throw a jab. Go ahead and make an attack roll.
Alright, the power shift, I have no need for weapons, and my power shift is in, damage for that, so I just have increased damage in my fists. That's what, like, all the metal plating and stuff, if I hit him, I'm gonna hit real hard.
Sounds good.
But yeah, I rolled the damage, or excuse me, I rolled the attack, I rolled an 11, I have
That
more
hits.
XP. You said that does not, or does?
That does hit.
Oh, so yeah, I strike him. I think that's 7 damage because no need for weapons makes it a medium. Plus 3 should be 7. So yeah.
Yep.
And he goes down.
Bang. Well, I look down. Is he like unconscious?
Yes, he is unconscious.
Oh. I look back at my group like, I think I overdid it, fellas. And I look around. Is there anybody else in the room? Or I guess it would go to Dean because it's his turn. He would look around. But yeah, I would definitely, after subduing him or knocking him out, I would look around to see if anybody else was there.
So you do not see anybody right yet. Dean, what you see is off to the side, tucked behind what looks to be one of those crates, is the briefcase.
Okay. I'm going to start moving towards the briefcase, being very leery. As a matter of fact, because you said it was like two individuals, I'm going to start with my terrifying presence, and I'm gonna start talking. And basically, as I walk into the room, if he's there and can hear me, I will affect. Let's see. Crap.
Is someone playing train noises?
Yeah.
That's my wife's playing something.
Oh, it's a printer. It sounds like a train, though.
Yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Oh, but he rolled a 10. Oh, that's funny. Also,
All right,
25
so
seconds.
You have your terrifying presence is good, and you managed to grab the briefcase, and you realize that it's halfway through your trip.
Grab the key and go to open it.
As you open the briefcase, it turns purple, and lightning starts crackling from it.
And that's time.
And I step back, and it's on you, Al.
Damn, this is where I get to pick up?
I don't want to be a jerk, but remember they said to be 10 feet away from the briefcase when you open
As I
it?
said, I step back. I can't open it from 10. I got to open it and step back. That's what I did.
Yeah, you have to open it and step back.
All right, so.
Well, let me know when to start the timer.
All right, give me 1 second to mentally collect myself because that was not what I was expecting to happen. That was very, very cool. But, all right, let's go. So as you go and you put the key in, you turn it, you hear the click, the suitcase or the briefcase starts to crackle with this purple electricity. It starts to change into a purple color. I assume, because you said...
Al, Josh, you know to take Al's character, right?
You're muted again, by the way. But yeah,
Yep, I'm on it.
Yeah, so since you had mentioned that, Anthony, I assume then that Braxton is backing away, or because as soon as
Well, no, I backed away. Braxton didn't know to back away. It was me, Fingers. After I opened it, I backed up.
Oh yeah, you would know that. Yes. So you back up. You hear the crackling. Things turning purple. It's starting to shake a little bit. It's shaking pretty heavily. And where is everybody standing as this is happening? It's gonna take maybe 20, 30 seconds. If you're curious, you can step up to it.
I mean, just for perspective, was I close to Braxton?
So the way I see it, and the way I envisioned it,
Because I wouldn't know to back up.
No. So, but you would definitely have been the furthest away though already because you were in the back of the line. Taft was in the middle. Willie was up front. Willie was in the fray first. Then Taft saw the briefcase, which I assumed was deeper into the cart. So it's pretty far from you. Okay. I would say probably already 20, 30, you can't even really see it other than the purple glowing, you wouldn't even be able to, you just see purple glowing and electricity. Yeah, if you wanted to walk up to whatever happens, this is going to happen. So it starts to shake and it slowly opens. And after it opens, there's if whoever's closest to it, or I guess, Taft would see this because he's probably looking at it as he's backing up. You see that there's a small, what looks like a silver egg in there, and it's starting to crack, it's hatching. You hear the metal clink, clink, clink as it starts to build the ridges, and as the egg hatches, there's this like almost like deafening sonic boom noise, and whoever's closest to the case, which I assume would be like the criminal there. I don't know where that criminal was hiding with the case. That's terrifyingly present right now. But he's like lost his mind, and I'll just say like after the sonic boom noise, he like comes up like from behind where he was hiding with his ears all covered, and he like almost passes out, like not almost passes out from the loud noise. But not Braxton, Taft was expecting it, but Braxton and I'm blanking on Willie. Can you both give me intellect defense rolls to see if the sound affects you mentally, if it bothers you at all?
Nice. I have an inability in intellect defense.
But what you call it? Actually,
Taft would be expecting it.
I would say Taft. You also have to roll, but you have an asset because you were expecting it.
Okay.
All right. So let me roll.
Oof.
I got a natural 1.
I got a 17.
Well,
all right. So what you call it? Taft and Willie are fine. You guys like cover your ears in time, whatever you want to flavor it, but the sound blast does not affect you at all. Braxton, though, you take 3 points of intellect damage.
Ooh, damn! I'm down to 3 intellect.
And on top of that, this is the GM intrusion. After the sonic boom fully subsides or, goes away or whatever, like you kind of come to your senses a little bit, the egg is now fully, like, open, and whoever's looking at it, it doesn't look like there's actually anything in the egg. It looks like a hatch that maybe, like, in the confusion of all the noise, it may be skittered off or something. But with the GM intrusion, you look down at your leg, and you see a small looking, it looks like an arachnid gremlin on your knee. It's not biting you, it doesn't look aggressive, but it's on your knee and it's holding on to you.
Get off my leg! I'll try to like kick my leg out, like to have it loosen up and have it move away from my knee.
It's basically like
my leg rapidly.
It's dug its claws into your pant leg. Basically, it's not digging into your skin. So like as you go to flail it, you see that it's not actually on you. It's more like on your clothing. And if you shake it free, or excuse me, can you roll me a speed task to see if you can shake it free?
All right. I'm gonna add effort to this. So 17 with the effort 20.
All right, yeah, it goes flying from your pant leg. It goes tumbling on the floor. And as that happens, it comes right back up to you, and looks at you, and it looks like if you could see its little beady red eyes. I even drew a little drawing of it before. It looks exactly like this little drawing.
Does it look similar to the other gremlins?
It looks like the other gremlins, but like a baby, like a small one. It kind of looks like it's looking at you like you're its mother. It's tapping your feet. It doesn't look aggressive at all, and it's like.
Can I use identifying machines to sense its motive?
Yeah, I mean, I just told you, it thinks you're its mother. It's kind of attached to you at this point, and if you're trying to interact with it, or if the other two guys are kind of confused about what's going on, you start to hear footsteps from the shadows, and it's Miss Tilly stepping out from the shadows, and she's just shaking her head. Boss is not going to be happy about that.
Oh, you talking about that shotgun on that robot? Because we ain't do nothing about that. We had nothing to do with that, right, fellas?
She says,
right.
Shotgun? What that's not even relevant right now. But boss, he wanted that baby. He wanted it to be his. Now it looks like it wants you. Who told you to have it? Who told you to open this case?
I ain't opened any case. I don't even know what you're talking
It
about.
looks over to the three of you. Who opened the case?
I point at the guy laying on the ground unconscious.
She shakes her head. It's like she kicks the one that's like on the ground next to us. Like these stupid criminals. Like kicks them. They're both still just unconscious there. She looks around. She looks for some rope. There's some rope in the storage room. She tosses some rope to like just in the general direction of you three. And she's like, get these guys tied up. We don't have time for this. Like, and she walks over to the little like gremlin thing. She tries to like pick it up, but it hops out of her hands and hops back down onto the floor, back to what is it, Braxton?
Yeah.
And again, it looks like it's just trying to be a friend, and she's just shaking her head. Oh, the boss is not going to be happy about that. And after all this time, like you guys maybe have been talking, whatever.
I would look over Willie and say, "Have you ever seen any of these gremlins come out of eggs before?
Nah, man, I haven't seen nothing like that.
This don't make much sense, does it?"
Oh,
Man, this whole thing doesn't make much sense. Miss Tilly's here. He's lost his scotch. We got spiders popping out of eggs and nobody on the train. And man, I don't know what's going on.
And who exactly does Miss Tilly work for? Excuse
Who
me.
do you work for, Tilly?
this is like I work for who owns the railway? Like Masterson. I work for Matthew. I assume she calls him Matthew, not Matt. Or Mr. Masterson. She's like, I work for Mr. Masterson. He's paying me lots of money to ensure that, like, I supervise this delivery, and it's been bungled. Like, who is, why would you open it? Why would, I guess these criminals, who sent these criminals? She goes and she, like, tries to, like, dig through their belongings, but they don't have anything. She's just overly confused about the situation. She's like, anyways, we're gonna be there soon. And you guys start to hear that the train is slowing down. Like, it seems like you're starting to pull up to your destination. You hear like you're starting to chug slowly. And you hear a robotic autonomous voice over the intercom. Now approaching Oklahoma City, 10 minutes inbound. Boom, boom. And then like the message ends. Miss Tilly shakes her head. She's like, he's really not going to be happy about this. Gather your things. Make sure these guys are subdued. We're going to have to talk to the boss about this.
Excuse me, ma'am. I know you were paying 10 cents per gremlin, but this one got to be worth more than 10 cents, right? It's out of an egg, for Christ's sakes.
I'll let you talk to the boss about that one. She just, again, she's like shrugging and like shaking her head like she's not very happy about what transpired. But yeah, if you guys take that 10 minutes to like gather your things, because you know you were all over the train.
I guess I'll extend my hand for the gremlin to crawl up on it.
Oh yeah, it definitely doesn't leave you alone. If you walk away, it follows you, and if you extend your hand, it crawls up to your shoulder, just chills there. It's like just like a little buddy. It's like not doing anything to you, just hanging out. But as you arrive to the to the station, you guys have your things. These criminals are tied up, and the doors to the train open, and you get out. And as you're getting out, it's very desolate. It's nighttime at this point. It seems like you took this trip towards the end of the day. You approach at nightfall, and as you get out, there's typical train station like nighttime fashion. There's a few lights, but in between the lights there's like some heavy shadowing or whatnot. You can't really hear much out here other than subtle machinations of the nearby things of the city or town. You might hear like hustle and bustle, not hustle and bustle, but like the occasional like carriage down the like nearby road or something. But in the shadows, and if you all depart the train, but you see like a guy, like a silhouette of a person just standing in the shadows, I guess waiting for people to get off the train. Yeah, that's if you leave the train, that's what you see.
now I'm sort of assuming that Miss Tilly's in charge, right?
Yeah, she would definitely get off the train first, and you could definitely assume just how she was talking, like she's like the second in command to Masterson. Um, and again, you can only assume that she works for him. She mentioned Masterson, and she's like the second in command, basically. Yeah.
I mean, the first two things I would do is I would look over our fingers and I go, how about that other dollar you owe us?
And I reach in my pocket. I said, actually, it was two, and I give both of them $2 more.
Much appreciated.
Willie's going to secrete that in a spot that's not a pocket or something.
And I'll go to Miss Tilly. Excuse me, Miss Tilly. Where do I offload the rest of our gremlins we had, in our agreement?
She says,
I got a couple gremlins on the train that I need to drop off for payment.
she turns to you and she says, yeah, it's going to be the normal drop-off area. We unload them, we take them to Dock B, and that's where we store them, and they get stored for transport. She turns around and she looks at the shadows, and she's like, oh, Mr. Masterson, and, she waves him on over. We got a mighty haul, but you ain't going to be too happy about the baby. And, as this person steps from the shadows, you can't really see him too closely. It's more like she stepped out in front of y'all and y'all are behind, and she's like trying to talk to this person in the shadows. The person steps out from the shadows, and he starts clapping. I knew I could count on you. And Miss Tilly takes a step back, and she's like, Max? What are you doing here, Mad Max? And now that he's like stepped out of the shadows, it's like looks like a guy, like a scientist, but he's wearing like like a lab coat, but it looks kind of like, I'm trying to think of a good word here, like decorated in a weird way, like it looks like he's villainous. Like, I don't know about a better way. Like, it has like runes on the side, like weird like inscriptions. His hair is like spiky and white. He has like a big scar over his right eye. He says, I knew I could count on you to bring me my baby. And she's like, Max, what, where's Mr. Masterson? It's like, I took care of that dumb fool. I knew you would bring me the child. And he's like, he looks over to, the three of you. He's like, now which of you have it? And she's like running back. It's like, be careful. It's like, this guy is Masterson's rival. He owns the power company. I don't know what he's doing here. And she looks terrified, and she's like backing up into y'all. And he's coming forward with his hand out. He's like, just hand me the creature, and all will be fine. And he's basically.
And I look at him, I go, I take it?
Yes. I'm glad it's safe and sound. I wanted you to open it so it could bond to one of y'all and not flee should Mr. Masterson arrive and get the case before me. And thank you, I thank you. And he's reaching out. And don't worry, I have the money right here. He has he pats his side. There's now that you notice like a small bundle. Looks like maybe there's like stacks of cash and like a burlap sack on his side. It's like, I have the money. Do not worry. He goes into, he whips out a fat stack of like, $2 bills, $5 bills, whatever.
How much money are we talking about around here?
Well,
you were initially offered 500. He says the 500 as specified.
I look at
500.
I look at
one gremlin.
And Tillin's like, don't do it. This guy, he's very nefarious. We don't know what he can get. I have no idea.
I look at Braxton and go,
I don't know what nefarious means. So
I look at Braxton. I say, Braxton, just so you know.
It means smelly. Remember,
like I said, Braxton, just so you know. You go ahead and give Mr. M the gremlin, and he's going to pay me the $500, and I'm going to pay you.
No, that's not how this works.
That's exactly how it works. Because I was the one that opened the case. and I was the one who was giving the directions, and I was the one who was being paid. And that's why you got paid $4 already.
I go, Mr. Sir, is that $500 deal for this gremlin still applied?
He says, I made the
I
deal.
look over his shoulder.
Wait, what? Oh, over whose shoulder?
Over
Taft?
Big Fingers.
Yeah. So he's looking at you guys. He's like, I made the deal with Mr. Taft, but if you hand it over, I can definitely rearrange who was the recipient. Because you're the one who actually has it. You're like, it's on you.
I'm not good with numbers, and I don't know all my letters. My mama told me that always strike while the iron's hot. And right now the iron is smoking hot. So if you give me the 500, I'll give you this gremlin. Plus, I got a truckload of a bunch of other gremlins. If you want them for $1 a piece, we can make that work too.
He waves his hand. He's like, those gremlins, they're insignificant. The child is the source.
Oh, sure. Give me 500.
Yeah.
And I look over at Willie and I give him a wink.
Willie grins back at you.
If you're walking up to him then, or
Yeah.
yeah. So
Absolutely.
he reaches his hand out. Do you like let the thing walk to him?
Yeah, I try to extend my hand so I can walk towards him.
All right. Do you want a GM intrusion?
Sure, why not?
All right. With your GM intrusion, who gets the other XP?
I'll give it to Willie.
And
All right.
as you do that, right, you're going to hand him the little gremlin critter. Miss Tilly's like, no, don't! And she runs between you and grabs it and keeps running, right? But she doesn't get very far. It's about maybe 20, 30 feet or so when a giant, like, spider-like appendage comes from underneath, like, the train platform. It comes from the other side and pins her down and, like, gets her by the leg. Ah! And out from beneath the train dock or train platform starts to appear a giant, what looks like a giant version of the same spider. Like, it looks like Mama Spider just came out. And once that happens, it pins it down, pins Tilly down. The little spider jumps out of Tilly's hands as she's writhing in pain, and it runs right back to you, Braxton. Runs right back to you, right hops on your leg, it rolls up your shoulder. But seeing that, the Mama Spider looks at you, looks at it as it goes to you, as it gets to you, and then and it starts to scurry towards you.
I start running, and at the same time, I say to Fingers, you want the spider? You want this gremlin? You can have it.
And roll me initiative, fellas. Oh, and I'm also gonna need a 5-minute warning whenever that. I don't know how long we're running. I'm not paying attention to any time.
You still got like 15 minutes.
No, I figured, but just again, as a reminder.
I got an 18.
All right.
And I'm trained in initiative.
All right, so you're definitely gonna go first.
17.
And what did you roll, Anthony? Oh, 4. So Anthony's last.
And I'm the closest to the thing.
Yeah, so it'll be Dean, Josh, the giant spider, and then Anthony. So Dean, what are you doing?
I'm going to look over at Mad Max or M or whatever he's going by, and I'm about to fast talk his ass real good. I'm going to drop a level of effort, and I'm basically going to go, situation has occurred to me that I think you should put the money in my hand because it makes more sense. He's going to give you the spider regardless, but he doesn't really know how to count. So I'm going to make sure everything is right and everybody gets paid properly. And this is how it's going to roll, okay? Because, as a matter of fact, oh, right, and here is 500. I just remembered that. So, yeah, we're going to do it that way, And I'm going to make the roll.
Oh yeah, he definitely believes your over complicated way of describing how you're gonna distribute the payment or whatever. He looks terrified too, so he's like worried about this, worried about that. So he's not in a place to really like logically comprehend what you're telling him. So he's like, yeah,
So he puts the,
he's like, yeah, I'll get it. Don't worry. He hands you the 500. He starts running alongside, trying to catch up to Braxton or
and okay. So would they do with that when he does that? I'm just gonna dip back on the train and let them keep running.
Did you run back on the train?
Yo,
As you try to go back to the train, the doors are already closed, and you can start to hear the autonomous, like, it's gonna start getting ready to go to, like, probably the little, like, storage, like, yard or whatever, where the actual storage happens. But, yeah, the train is not an option.
Okay.
But, Josh.
I got a funny move with my turn.
All right. I'm going to attempt to so you said that there were like lamps or something like that?
Yeah, there's definitely like think of like a regular old train platform where there's like a lamp post every like 10 feet or something like that, or 15 feet or whatever have you. Like it litters like this 40 whatever foot long platform. Again, I'm horrible at feet. It's probably like 100 feet. I don't know, but either it's train platform length.
That's fine. So I'm gonna go to one of these things and I'm gonna try and break it,
Okay.
and put it like an obstacle between the spider and Braxton.
Okay.
So something like it could trip up over or something like
Yes. You can 100% attempt that. So you target one of the light posts. And how are you trying to break it?
that. I'm just gonna punch it down.
Oh yeah, Willie.
Straight might.
Yes.
Straight might. No need for weapons.
Yes, you could definitely straight up punch it down. I already know how I'm gonna roll this, depending on what you roll. And are you using effort or anything like that?
Yeah, I'll use effort. And I'm not sure if I can use muscles of iron for this. Would you consider this an attack roll if I'm hitting an inanimate object?
What does that do exactly? Let me look at it again.
For the next 10 minutes, all might-based actions are other than attack rolls are eased.
Oh, I'll allow that for sure. Yeah, you could definitely allow this.
All right, so I'll take 2 might points there. I'm going to throw a level of effort at it, and then we'll do might. So
you square up, you square your shoulders. Oh yeah, that definitely.
With an 18.
Yeah, that definitely topples the light post. Not only does it come down, comes down between Braxton and this oncoming giant spider, it also starts to crackle with electricity. So not only is it like a big thing that's on the ground, it's also like potentially dangerous if it gets touched. Now goes on to, or is there anything else you want to do or say before you end it? Like you just walk up to the thing, punch it. Is there anything you want to say to your comrades or anything before you end your thing?
don't stop.
Alright, so you punch it, keep running. Spider is gonna try to, catch up to y'all. It's gonna attempt to, like, go over this little obstacle you've created. So I'm gonna have you roll for that, Josh. As it tries to, like, make its way over the thing without getting shocked.
Okay, just like a speed kind of a roll?
Yeah, basically. It's like a speed trap you had set for it. Or if you want to use intellect, I'd allow that too. It's because like a trap you set, basically. So speed or int, I'm easy.
It rolled a 16.
So yeah, it tries to go over the thing, and it's moving very quickly and erratically, and actually trips up over this like electrically charged lamppost. It starts to shriek as it gets shocked. It slows down a bit as taking that shock damage. It takes 5 points of electric damage from that pole being down. Max, though, seeing the monsters like kind of being incapacitated for just a moment, tries to seize the opportunity and runs over to Braxton. And as you're running, I guess, because you're both running, he's like, give me that dang baby, and he tries to swipe it from you. Are you trying to keep it from him, or do you let him take it?
He's trying to grab it from me. I was gonna do something. I'm gonna
it's
grab
his turn
it.
first.
It's his turn?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not letting him take it.
All right, so then roll a speed defense roll to keep him from snatching it off your person. Because he paid for it, and he feels like he's entitled to it.
He didn't pay me, though.
No, he paid the person who yeah. But either way. He's still attempting to retrieve his property.
Oh, I'm trained in speed defense.
He's out the money.
I got a 13 and I'm trained in it.
Oh yeah, so you definitely swat his hand away. He doesn't reach at you in time. And he's like, "Gosh darn it, give me that baby!" And he's still running for his life. I'm assuming you're all just running from this big thing.
So I duck under him, and as I duck under him, I'm yelling to Willie, "Willie, run back to the tray!" And I'm gonna take the spider, and I want to throw it on top of Fingers.
Okay. So you want to basically chuck it onto Fingers?
Yes.
All right. So give me a speed roll to see if you successfully aim.
And I'm gonna apply effort to this roll.
I get to make a speed defense roll?
Wait, to Fingers or to Willie? Because you just said Willie's name.
No, I told Willie to come follow me.
Okay, and then you're throwing it to Taft, though.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
I got a 7, but I'm a what you call it, reroll that with XP.
Okay.
I got a 10, but I'm gonna reroll that with XP.
But keep in mind, the train is starting to slowly leave the station at this point. It's like, again, heading to that storage area, so it's not going fast. Yeah, I'm just letting you know. Just setting the stage, scene. Whatever have you.
All right, I got a 21.
This time, it definitely, you can flavor how you want, but...
I mean, I would think it's a contested roll.
It depends if he wants to not catch it or not. Do you want to catch it, Taft?
No, literally what I was going to do is I was just going to bat it along. You know, so if he throws it to me, I'm just going to keep it going. Like back.
So the point is to slap it to who or to where or to get it away from you or what?
I mean, if he's going to bat it along, it's a contested roll.
For sure, but it depends on where. Like, I need to figure out where he's throwing it. Or
I don't care where it goes. It can go back to it. It can go to his mama. It can go back to.
Then yes, you roll against the 21.
All right, make a decision because we got 5 minutes left.
Yeah, I said roll against the 21. I already know how I'm gonna wrap this up. I think so. We're just waiting for Dean to make his little roll here.
Yep, I'll roll again.
You're using XP?
Yep, I got 3 XP, so.
Not the time.
That 3 XP was mine. You use it. Oh, no, you have
No, I'm on Fingers. I got 3 XP.
You are.
I ain't cheating. And I'm gonna expend a level of effort on this next one.
Okay. Nope. So he throws this thing, or gonna keep using XP because he.
I got another XP. I got 2 more, so I got.
So that's your last one. You had 3. You used 2 already.
I used 1 to re-roll.
Just now.
Yeah, he's only got 1.
After this reroll, he'll have 1 left. You really wanted to stick on him. Did you roll a 12 again?
Yep.
Yep.
Bruh. This
last one.
Roll 20 is trash.
It's roll 20, man. I'm telling you.
That's 12,
There it is.
12. You literally rolled 11, 12, 12, 13.
Yep.
What is
That's why I hit roll 20.
Yo, can I use my last XP for player's choosing?
Yes, go for it.
Can the what you call it, gremlin go into his pocket where the key was?
Yes, the gremlin goes into. You throw it so accurately, it like hits his chest and slides down into his pocket. And I was like, kind of chilling out in his pocket, like you see like maybe a little cartoon, like a little chipmunk or something, but it's a little spider. And
I was just yelling for Willie to haul ass with me to the train. Like
yeah, and he'll be following you.
and if you do that, yeah, you can definitely run towards the train after that. And on your turn, Josh, you can definitely follow suit. But it actually goes back to Dean now. So Dean, the spider landed on your chest. It's in your pocket right now. It's gripped real tight. Like it has it's you won't be able to remove it.
Okay, that's fine. I'll just take my whole jacket off and get it. Toss the jacket away.
Or where are you throwing it off to? Just off to the side?
I'm just throwing it away. I don't care where it goes.
So you do
randomly.
that. You do that. Toss it away. While you're tossing it away, though, the spider lets go and midair jumps to you, clings onto like your shirt. And if you're gonna keep taking off clothes, and again, I think it'd be comical. You take off your shirt, and it clings onto your tank top.
Will 18 get it away from me?
No, this thing is on you. Like it's if you go down to your bare shirt, it's gonna cling onto your skin.
Okay.
Because with his player intrusion, I don't want to invalidate that. Like he wanted it on you, it's on you. So it's on you. You're running, right? You're running frantically. Get it off! Get it! You're throwing off your shirt, your jacket. It's clinging to your thing. Willie and Braxton are running off to the train. But what else did you want to try to do? Because you won't be able to remove it, but you can try something else.
If it ain't coming off, there's nothing to do.
So you run. As you're running, at the end of the train platform, you notice another guy in the shadows, and he steps forward as you're running, terrified. You're screaming. Miss Tilly's screaming from way back. She never got up. These two are running to the train, and as you're running, you almost run into this guy in the shadows. You almost he maybe moves out the way, or you stop in time. He's like, relax, and you see now it's Matt Masterson, and he goes and he touches your chest or wherever the thing is on you. And he whistles a small weird tune. It sounds very electronical or electric, almost either way, chiptune-y. He blows and the thing perks up, lets go of you, and crawls up his hand. And it's up to you if you want to keep running or whatnot, but this big spider is still running at you, and he doesn't look concerned at all. He starts walking towards it, and he lifts up his hand and he whistles like a chiptune-y noise, and the thing kind of grinds its feet on the ground or its legs on the ground as it comes to a stop, and he's basically whistling this tune, kind of taming the beast. And he's looking around. He's like, what? How did all this go so wrong? Tilly! And he's looking for Miss Tilly, and he got after he shouts for and after the noise of all the machination dies down, he hears her shouting for help at the end of the platform. He looks to you, Drax, and he's like, boy, how did this all go so south? Come. And he tells the spider, he says something with his whistling, and it kind of sits down on the platform and just chills. The baby spider's just resting on his thing. Yeah, and I'm wrapping up here, so he calls over to you two from the train, and he's like, what happened here, boys? What's going on here? And if you can talk to him if you want. Again, we're done here, but he's basically trying to.
We just jumping on the train. I'm not talking to anybody.
Oh yeah, if you jumped on the train, then yeah, you're out of sight before they even seen any of this happening.
Yep.
Really, if you followed suit, you guys are basically in the storage yard as Braxton sees the end of this unfold. But Masterson, he goes up to Tilly, gets her on her feet, walks over. He's talking to Braxton, boy, not Braxton, Taft. He's talking to Fingers. Fingers would be the one left here. He says, what happened here? I pay the what's the name of the company that hired y'all to work on the train? He hired that company. I hired y'all to work on my railway. Yeah, that small company, and this delivery went all south. Tilly, what happened here? And she says, it was Max, and he gets on high alert after hearing that name. Where is that varmint? And he looks around, and Max is nowhere to be seen. All you really see is just a spot on the ground where there's it looks like he made off with part of the case. There's half of the eggshell left, and you just find that if you look around after all this aftermath. And he tells you guys that Max is always trying to ruin my plans. And as you can see here, I've been trying to keep it a secret, but I couldn't hide it. these gremlins, I'm learning to control them. The baby, she was gonna be a part of this process, but I had to speed it up. And he's basically just trying to calm things down, and he's like, invite you back to his house to explain the situation. You guys at the storage yard, you guys make it there, and you guys are greeted by just workers who tell you like you guys look all roughed up, I guess. So he's like, what happened? You explain the situation. As you guys are explaining it, I guess, Braxton and Masterson show up to help you unpack. They talk about the situation. Go back to his house. He explained how gremlins aren't so bad, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, he's actually...
Wrap it up, dude.
Yeah, that's the wrap up. That's it. He tells you gremlins are actually good. The end. That's it. I'm sorry. This is why I'm bad at first and last. I never do those good well. But this was fun. Sorry, I kind of dragged on a little there with the epilogue or whatever you call the end part. I'm going to let y'all talk a little bit now.
Alright, this is the part where we go over, I think this one was interesting, but we go over what our mindset was before we log off and tell everybody thank you. So, I went first, so my mindset, like always going first, is I want to throw as many plot seeds out there for the people to go behind me, which surprisingly, not too many were used. But, I wanted to use the train. I wanted to use the gremlins. I added the mayor. I added the M, whatever this mysterious N. I added the briefcase. I actually, now that I think about it, a lot of them were used. It didn't seem like it, but I added the briefcase. I added whoever this mysterious boss was, which was pretty funny. When Dean mentioned the little creature thing, I was like, okay, let's call them gremlins at the very beginning. So I basically just wanted to give Dean and Josh as much material they could work with, and I think I was able to do that. I think the key with this is, and every time we play it, we might have to reword our advice section, because I think each stage in this game is a very different mindset you need to take, right? And our wording on the instructions on what to do in each mindset might have to be reworded a little better. But I think I did okay. And when we had Weird West, I didn't know exactly where to go with it, but I figured a town with a train, and it worked. When you only have like 2 minutes to think of something, you come up with the best you can.
And basically going second, going in the middle to me isn't as difficult. Well, I don't think it, like I said, I've always said no position is too difficult, but going in the middle, you just kind of riffing off of what was said before, and that's kind of what I did. When you gave me Mysterious M, and then you told him to open the case, halfway through or hour into the trip or whatever it was, I figured I had to put some type of antagonist. So I figured I'd throw Miss Tilly in there. First we had to try and, the first route was that she was going to, of course, try to seduce him with her womanly wiles. That didn't work. So the next thing she did was, hit him off with a little drug in his drink. He failed to roll horribly, so he got drugged. And I was able to use all your other little epithets that you had put in there. I threw the thing on there, but then I threw a plot twist, throwing two thugs in there on the train in the back, just to give whoever went next, which was Josh, giving him something to work with. So that way he had more protagonists to fool around with, because we were on the train. I took the train because of course you put it in there. So it was like, well, we got to make it a train caper. I mean, I just was the mind thought it had to be a train caper of some sort. And that was how it unfolded in my head.
I mean, did you envision that Miss Tilly to be evil, or you just envisioned it as a character in the story?
She was just an antagonist. So I put her in there. She could go either way. She could be good. She could have been bad. She could have been, kind of neutral, which Al turned her kind of neutral, which was kind of cool. Josh did too. They turned her more into a semi-protagonist as well, as opposed to an antagonist. And then, switching around that M was really the bad guy, and Mr. Masterson was the good guy was really cool. So
How about you, Josh? What was your mindset?
Yeah, I really liked that. So what I was thinking was at about that point in the story, I needed to take it and throw a major wrench in it. And so what I wanted to do was that briefcase. What I'd actually intended, and I ran out of time because this whole time thing sucks.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
I'm not used to that.
Quick.
It doesn't give you much time. But so what I planned on doing was actually I figured that the gremlins were not from this world. They were from a different dimension. And so whatever was in this briefcase was going to take that train and put it in that dimension briefly. And then when it came back out in Oklahoma City, it was going to be covered with gremlins.
Oh.
nice.
That definitely sounds better than the direction I went.
that obviously didn't happen. So I took Tilly, and I figured Tilly was dirty. And so she was working at cross purposes with Taft. Taft was going to open it because the boss Masterson wanted to see how the gremlins were built, and so that he could stop them from this other dimension intruding on this world. And she wanted to sell the technology, and so she hired the two thugs to steal the briefcase so that they could sell it to the highest bidder or whatever. And so that was kind of the cross purposes and the little wrench that I wanted to throw in there and give for Al to do, but I kind of ran out of time to do it.
And here's the other thing. Here's the other thing for everybody out there too. We do these in 30-minute increments, for cons and for the show and stuff like that. But there's going to be in the rules as options for you to run longer, portions.
Hour.
You could do an hour per GM. It just depends on time. We do this for time constraints, so there's going to be a lot of optional flexibility to the rules themselves. And Anthony's right. I guess we're going to do an advice section for the different positions, because you can have more GMs as well. You can do it with 6 GMs if you wanted to, or whatever. But 4 is like the sweet spot. 30 minutes is great to show it off, and let people experience it. Sorry about that interruption.
Yeah, I think the basic, it's not necessarily you're going to come up with the most cohesive story, because anytime you play phone, because this is essentially the phone game in RPG form, you don't want your idea from the very beginning to be followed through. You want everyone to input, and then you want their vision to be added on to your vision. So I enjoy when I didn't see a train heist when I just threw the train in there to throw it in there, right? What I enjoy is what the person behind me sees, and then the person behind that sees.
Right.
You build this group narrative that you don't get with one person, controlling the entire narrative. It's a different experience.
And one other thing I like to throw out there too, because this is even something that I even thought about using in a campaign. If you've got, 4 GMs, just imagine doing this on a weekly basis. You guys sit down and you play a session of GM Roulette, and you build a world. And then every week, you guys are sitting down playing in this world you built, but everybody's getting a turn. That could be crazy and fun all at the same time. And you really, options. Al?
Yeah, Al, what was your mindset?
So,
ending the...
I definitely, like you said, it's like a game of telephone. I didn't pick up on Josh's intended, the route, because obviously there was not enough time to convey that, all that complexity. So when as going last, you're really trying to wrap it up. I didn't, as we were playing, I wasn't thinking about it. You should be thinking about it. If you're last, it showed. Like, I definitely didn't have the most cohesive ending there, I feel like, anyway. One thing I did think about going into my turn was the M. I knew I didn't want it to be Masterson. I wanted it to be sort of a twist, that it was another guy who actually contracted them, even though all the signs pointed to it having had being Masterson. I just wanted
No,
to...
you know what's funny? I named the railroad Masterson to give you the option of whether or not to have, like I named M and I made sure I named the railroad company something with M to give you the option to whether or not you wanted, if you viewed it that way or you viewed it something differently.
And it worked out because, again, that prompted in my mind to, instead of making it Masterson, it was Max. And that name I made up right away. I was like, oh, I need an M name, Max. Like, and then the whole egg thing, I honestly, you can probably tell just from how I did it, I didn't know what I wanted it to be. I was dragging that part out. And I always have a thing for little companions or buddies, so that's where my mind went to first. I was like, it's an egg. It's a little thing that was hatched. And at that point in time, I had the idea that, hey, someone wanted it to for a nefarious purpose, which was like to maybe harness its power, whatever. We don't know. It's a unknown nefarious purpose. Whereas Masterson is actually trying to like like How to Train Your Dragons. Like he's trying to learn them, control them, or like befriend them, and that's kind of where I went with the little spider coming out at the out of the train station and the mama coming out, and I knew that. You guys probably weren't going to fight it, and if you did, it would have been interrupted by Masterson calming it down, like, hey, whoa, guys, whoa, like, this is actually our friend, like, and it would have wrapped up that way. But you guys smartly ran away from it, because it was a giant spider. And, yeah, I mean, that's basically it. Again, you should be thinking a lot when you're last, or, whenever it's your turn's coming up, you should be thinking. I was not thinking. I was getting caught up in playing and having a good time, which is, you can do both. I guess I struggle with that, though. But again, I had a great time. Hopefully the ending wasn't too incohesive or whatever word you want to use, rambly, but it was fun.
I just had two things I took from it. That David Fingers wanted nothing to do with Tilly. It just seemed like David Fingers wanted nothing to do with Tilly, and I did not think of an egg in that briefcase. Out of all the things I was thinking of, an egg was not one of them. Those are the two things I took for this session.
It was fun, and David Tilly he wanted no parts of Tilly at all. he gave zero account for Tilly. Tilly was a damn no. And you know what? It's kind of funny that the egg was in there, and I could have seen it being a portal to another dimension. I didn't know. I had no idea what you guys were going to put in the briefcase, because I was like, the briefcase is not even going to be anywhere near my time in the game, so I didn't even think about what was in it. I just said, you know what? I'm going to move it forward and make sure David is prepared to open it. That's why I was asking for the key and all that kind of stuff. So that was good stuff, though.
So if you like us and you like what we do, please join the Cypher Unlimited Discord. We what you call have the largest fan run Discord with about 4,000 members, and we chat about all things Monica games. We have games being played almost daily. We'd love to have you there. Or give us a follow here on Twitch. We'll greatly appreciate it, or even subscribe if you want to. Go to our YouTube channel, like, share, and subscribe there. Our videos will always be free, and we'll really appreciate it if you subscribe on our YouTube channel. We're trying to build subscriptions up there, or visit our Ko-fi and give us a little donation there. Or every little bit helps with little things like Zoom costs, or go to our online merch store and pick up some cool Cypher Unlimited merch like the shirt Dean got on. Be the cool kid on the block. And last but not least, we love you guys.
Actually, last but not least, Josh, where can we find you online?
You can find us online at angelcitadel.com. We have a YouTube channel, Angel Citadel. You can find us on Twitter. You can find us on MeWe. You can find us on Facebook. And soon you will likely be able to find us on Twitch as well.
Oh, and one more place
so
they can find you. They can find you at Cypher Unlimited on Discord.
They can find us at the Cypher Unlimited on Discord. As Anthony mentioned, Joanne, my better half, is a golden one there, and I frequent it as well. So you can find us at any of those places, and I would love to talk to you.
Yeah, awesome. And again, thank you so much for being on with us. It's been a blast as usual. Yeah, and thank you all for watching. It'll be on YouTube tomorrow for those who couldn't catch it tonight. And yeah, from us at the CU, we will see you later.
Bye, guys.